Good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Italian webinar this morning with Trenitalia. So once again, we have Blaze on the other side of the ditch questions. So if you have any questions over the duration of when I'm talking, feel free to ask them while I'm talking and I can answer them at the end. Also, if you have any questions at the end as well. So Trenitalia is the primary train operator in Italy. It is government owned. So it is mostly Trenitalia that we're talking about if it is Italian rail. Italy is a really popular and easy country to travel by rail. We're also really excited to now have a direct link with Trenitalia, which is able to offer now a 4 to 6 month booking horizon for train tickets in Italy. So that is amazing news, as you probably will know that most horizons are about 2 to 3 months in Europe. So this for 4 to 6 months for Italy is fantastic. So that's for point-to-point tickets and for seat reservations in Italy, which also come up on our website too. So these tickets are generally pretty cheap. The instant purchase, they're non-refundable, non-changeable. It does make it worthwhile to purchase the point-to-points generally in Italy rather than a rail pass at the moment, but there is that less flexibility as they are non-refundable, non-changeable. So there are many routes and network in Italy is quite extensive. So you've got really frequent departures. So as you can see, Bologna to Florence is only a 35-minute journey, which is fantastic, and there's 106 departures a day. So generally most trains are high-speed lines around Italy, and you don't need to be waiting too long if you do miss one. They're nice short durations. The trains are modern and comfortable. They have high speed as well as regional on these lines in Italy. You can even get through on a direct service from Naples to Palermo in Sicily, which takes approximately 9 hours. It takes the regional train along the scenic coastline, and then the train boards the ferry, which is quite a unique experience, and you get over to Sicily. You also have international services that direct connect between Italian cities and bordering neighbouring countries as well. So there's approximately 5 different types of Trenitalia trains, which I'll go into explain now. I do apologise for my terrible pronunciation of some of them. So the first one is your sort of most prominent, and that's the Frecciarossa. These trains are high speed and they travel up to approximately 300 kilometres an hour. So this line, it connects one main high speed line in particular, which is Milan, Bologna, Rome, Naples, Florence, Venice, Bari, Trieste and Salerno is what this service runs on. They offer a number of different classes of service here, as you can see. All of them generally offer Wi-Fi and online entertainment portal where you can get free movies and music, etc., and power outlets at your seat. So these have, starting from the right, standard class, which is what you'd say would be sort of second class. So you've got reclining fabric seats, 2-2 seating, and then you've got a food and beverage service, cart, trolley, and also carriage that you can purchase from. Next step up is premium. It is more of an equal to the second class chair or seating, and then you've got with first class amenities. So you've got reclining leather seats, also a 2-2 seating, a welcome drink and a snack, and then your newspaper is included as well. So the snack is not a meal, it's just a snack included. Business is more of your premier or first class. It is leather seats, and then you've got a 2-1 seating. Your welcome drink and snack are served here as well as your newspaper. Now, executive is on some of these Frecciarossa trains. It is a step up from business. There's only 8 seats per carriage. They are leather and reclining. Adjustable head and foot rests. You've got a meeting room on board here, so this is definitely for sort of the more business travellers. Dedicated staff to cater for the executive carriage, and you do get a meal served at your seat with this class only. So just to make sure people know that that's executive only, Business, Premium and Standard all only have a snack, so not a meal as such. They do also have Fresher Club lounges, which are available in some select cities, and these offer free Wi-Fi, newspaper, taxi booking services, but they're only available to business and executive ticket holders at this stage. So the next type of train is the Fresciargento, which is a tilting train. It still runs on a high-speed line as well as a conventional line. It has free Wi-Fi, an online entertainment portal and power outlets. So this also has a bar or a service car as well, so where you can go and buy your food and beverages, but there are no meals included on these. So basically the service is second and first class, so you've got 2-2 seating in second and 2-1 seating in first. That's generally how most of the European trains are seated, not just Italy, just for you to note. First class is reclining leather seats, and then you do get a welcome drink and snack in first class as well. The Frescia Bianca runs on a conventional line, so it's a little bit stepped down, but it's higher than a regional train. So it's still on a conventional line, but it's outside of the high-speed network. They do have spacious reclining seats. You've got power sockets again, and you also have your food and beverage car as well. Once again, second class and first class, so similar to prior, but no snack included in first class, so just your seats in the ticket price. And then the next one, the last ones are your intercity and regional. So intercity and regional trains connect major cities and smaller towns in Italy. So you do have first and second class, but regional trains don't always have first class, so some may not have first. If they do have a rail pass that is a first class pass, they're obviously welcome to still use it on their second class ticket, but they can't expect to have a first class on all of the regional trains. So once again, they do have power outlets and pretty comfortable seats, but no meals or snacks included in these. So yeah, just a note of all of the trains, overall in terms of meals, because we do get asked that quite a bit, only snacks are provided to first or business class for the majority of Italian trains, and the meal is only provided on the executive class services. So talking a little bit about tickets and seat reservations, e-tickets, as I said earlier, can be purchased up to 6 months in advance. So they are electronic tickets, which is fantastic. On this note, I will give you a bit of a tip on the website. You might find that there's 2 fares that come up when you're searching a point to point. It might be the same city to city, the same train number, etc. But you'll see a fare underneath that's higher than the other. Now, one will have, one may be a paper and one may be an electronic ticket, and one may be more expensive. So I do recommend that you look for the lightning bolt beside the fare online. This means it's instant purchase, but it is going to be your cheapest fare. That basically links with the Trenitalia website, and we pull the best fare for you. The other ticket will be a slightly higher fare and a different type of ticket. If you do go online and you only see one fare, which doesn't have a lightning bolt beside it, I do recommend waiting a little bit or an hour or so to see if the lightning bolt fare will come back, because sometimes if the Trenitalia site does go down, it does pull it off ours as well. So I do recommend waiting for that. So that's a bit of a tip. The seat reservations are required on the majority of the high-speed lines and your intercity trains. The regional trains, you do not get the choice of doing a seat reservation. That's not possible. But reservations are required when you are travelling with a rail pass on high speed or conventional intercity trains. If you have a point-to-point ticket, it's generally included in your ticket, the seat reservation, if you need it. But if you have a rail pass, they do have to do it in addition. While I'm on this note, I do want to look at 2 really popular areas in Italy that quite a few people do ask about, and that's the Cinque Terre and the Amalfi Coast. Cinque Terre is both of these places don't really have they don't have a high-speed line. So Cinque Terre, you can take a high-speed train to either La Spezia or Levanto, and from here there are small regional trains which run frequently between the villages. There's up to about 25 services a day in each direction, so it's easy to just jump on them. They're non-reservable, so you can't pre-book them. But if your client does hold a rail pass which covers Italy, then they can use it on these services. It is possible, but most people will do purchase an actual Cinque Terre train card once they get there in Italy, which is valid for 1, 3 or 7 days for unlimited travel between the 5 villages. So we can't sell that Cinque Terre train card. So on the rail pass, they can actually use the rail pass on those trains, but it's normally better to buy that card as well. It's pretty cheap. Once they get there, then they don't have to worry about carrying around their rail pass or losing it, because it is quite a high value item. The Amalfi Coast, although the Amalfi doesn't have a train line, it's still accessible by bus or ferry. So from Rome, you can take a train down to Naples. You then swap to a private line between Naples and Sorrento. So from Sorrento, you then take a bus. So it is a little bit trickier to get in and out of, but it is possible. It is very important to note that the line or the sector from Naples to Sorrento is on a private line, so it is not covered by any train ticket or rail pass that includes Italy. So they do need to purchase that locally for that sector. Another option is to take the train from Rome to Salerno, and then you can hop on a bus to the Amalfi Coast or rent a car or drive yourself as well. So those are two of the quite popular destinations, and you can find more information about that on our website as well. Now, Italy and beyond, so we obviously have it's a really good network to be able to connect to another country next door. So they're quite reasonable travel times as well. So between Milan and Zurich, it's about 3.5 hours. Zurich and Venice is 6.5 hours. There is an overnight service between Paris, Milan and Venice, which is the Thallo. And there's also a day service between Marseille, Nice, Genoa and Milan. And that's the Thallo. So the Thallo runs day train and it also runs night train. The Thallo does not allow seat reservations for pass holders. So they do need to be purchasing they do need to know that they're purchasing a full price ticket if they are wanting to do this, because it is a premium train. They can get a discount locally with their rail pass if they want to buy their ticket once they get there, but you are risking that there may not be any seats left. So you generally can get a reasonably cheapish price point-to-point ticket on the Thallo. So just to finish up, I just want to note a few of the cool things we have going on at the moment. So you might not know, but you can actually win a free trip to Italy at the moment for what is called a Rail Plus reporter. So we are looking for someone to send to Italy who can trip around on trains, experience everything pretty much included, and you just need to be a really good social media buff and report it all for us. So that's pretty exciting, and you do need to enter by tomorrow, so you can find that on our website under the specials tab. So all of your specials and incentives are under that tab. We also have a new foodie friendly itinerary around the best Italian hotspots. So you might have heard of the Great Train Tour of Switzerland. We've created a Great Train Tour of Italy. It is an independent travel, so it's not a package, and we don't book it as a package, but we can book it separately. It just gives clients an idea of where they can go and what food they can get, because obviously there's some amazing food in Italy. And then the last one is a quiz, a really easy quiz on the website where you could win one of 50 pizzas. So give that a go as well. That's really easy to do under the specials tab, and that ends tomorrow too. Cool, so thank you for listening. Do we have any questions? No, no questions. Sounds like I might have covered it all right then, hopefully. So just a odd fact is that Freccia, so the Frecciarossa type trains, Freccia stands for arrow. So the names of the trains are actually Red Arrow, Silver Arrow, and White Arrow, if I could pronounce them right. Now, I haven't personally travelled to Italy myself or done any of the trains, but I will be going early next year on a south of Mill, which I'm really, really looking forward to get experiencing those trains, and I will be doing the Cinque as well. Which of those trains can't be used with the rail pass? So the majority of them can. Like I said, the private line between Naples can't be, and Sorrento, that's a private line, so you can't use your rail pass there. But the majority of other Italian Trenitalia trains, you all can use your rail pass. Can we buy Cinque Terre passes through Rail Plus? No, so that has to be booked locally. You don't have to do it once you're in the Cinque Terre, but you do need to buy it in Italy. So it is only local. It's really only easy. It's really quite easy to buy and quite cheap. Sorry, there was one other train that the rail pass you can't be used on, which is the Otello. So like the Thello, the Otello, and the private lines. So they're premier trains or private trains. So any other questions there? Was it the overnight or day between? So the Thello between France and Italy day train, that's the one that you can't use the rail pass on. So they do need to book a ticket, a point-to-point ticket, or they can get a discounted ticket once they're there by showing their rail pass, but it isn't actually buying a seat reservation, it's getting a discounted point-to-point ticket. Okay, so I think that is the majority of the questions. So just to finish off, I just want to remind you that we do have the Rail Expert program still up online. We used to have this program, well, we've had it for a long time, every year, but we did used to pull it down, so we're not doing that anymore. So you can do this training whenever you feel like it, which is great. It is a really extensive training. You can save all the modules and the information that we give you as PDFs, so you can refer back to it later. But there is an actual Trenitalia module in there, which is great, gives you a lot more detail about Italy. There's also a Great Train Journeys Rail Expert program too now, which gives you the more information on the luxury trains, which is really handy because there are so many and it's really hard to know about a lot of them. So I do recommend doing the training whenever you have some spare time. You can log on, do some, come back, do some later if you want to as well. Right, well, thank you all for your time. And I will be back next month. We've actually got a really special one next month. We've got a UK training webinar, which is with Jack from our office, who used to work in the UK for the UK Railways. So that is going to be really helpful. So I really recommend tuning into that. That's in the next few weeks, but you will get a link for that as well. And you will get sent this webinar afterwards. So thanks for tuning in and have a great day. Bye.